And welcome to the show. If you're here for UFC Midnight, I do apologize. This is the podcast. We're here to talk about some fights, baby.
Step in your brain, feel the adrenaline rush. Throwing fists to kids, the pain we can't hush. And then they fight us, we're the real tough guys. Breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies. Into the octagon, like a warrior I stand. Slaying blows, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast. Locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with might, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast. Locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling like a golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live from the Golden Octagon Studios in Norfolk, Virginia. This is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D. Rose.
Yes, we are back here on a Wednesday night. This is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. If I'm acting a little out of line, I don't know if you can overdose on NyQuil today, but I've had a lot of it. So today's gonna be a fun show. My name is Matt. D Rose is on that side of your screen. My throat's been hurting all bad today, so you know what? It is what it is. We're gonna have a good podcast though. We are here to recap this past weekend's UFC St. Louis. Unfortunately, I have to eat some beans because I lost the pick champ this weekend. As you see that shiny gold strap over D Rose's shoulder, we got some UFC fight news and announcements to go over, and then we got this weekend's UFC Fight Night Vegas 92 Edson Barboza versus Lerone the Miracle Murphy. Me and D Rose are going to give you our picks and predictions for that. Or our predictions and our picks because I'm dyslexic and I read things backwards. But with that being said, D Rose, how have you been over the past week, my guy? And I'll get the chat pulled up and get us rocking and rolling.
Things have been great over here. Came out with a pretty decent weekend. Came out in the plus this weekend again as far as betting wise. So, kind of slowly but surely kind of building back to what I kind of, had in my account before and trying to, build on top of that some more. So yeah, pretty good gambling weekend. And, as far as the card, yeah, I thought the card, and you had messaged me and said the same thing, but honestly, I thought UFC St. Louis delivered, man. I thought it delivered on all, facets. And I thought, the St. Louis crowd really brought it. And it just makes me want the UFC to be in front of a crowd almost every week. Dana kind of dropped a hint about that. So, and we can talk about that as well. But yeah, good to see the crowd kind of give all the fighters the energy. And yeah, it was a good fight card, man. Really enjoyed it.
Indeed, man. We got it. It'll at least be a fun recap today to at least talk about because you won, I won. I gave out a winning pick on Change of Cheddar this past week, dude. It's just all good over here on the Golden Octagon. So we got Lush Lomain in here. First, another Golden Wednesday with the boys. Can't wait for these fire picks. I appreciate it, Lush. You are that guy. We got Austin in here. What's up? Happy Wednesday, everyone. And then Dave Fish for Day saying, hump day. How's everyone feeling about midnight so far? Saw one dude pull a Kaylin Chikagian auto and an Eamon Zahabi auto in the same box. Immediately thought to myself, thankfully I didn't buy this box. D-Rose, it's a box, $300, 3 autographs, and if 2 of your 3 autographs were Eamon Zahabi and Kaylin Chikagian, how would you feel?
You know, I'm a Caitlin Marinara fan as much as the next, but yeah, not the happiest customer in the world. If those were the two that end up coming out.
Yeah, kind of rough. We got that tangy sack saying, "What's up, everyone? Stuck at work till 11 p.m. Sadly, I'm sorry to hear that, my guy. Well, yeah, I'm glad you're able to stop by here and say what's up. Tank Niner saying, "I wish I could stay up for this one. Work's got waking up at 4 a.m. Oh, that's rough.
Sheesh.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you were able to, stop by and say what's up. Tim saying seems overpriced for sticker items. A little bit. Everyone's early tonight. I see. What's good, y'all? How you doing tonight, Riley? Glad you're able to make it. And we got Riley with the beer funds in here. Shout out, Riley, dropping the $10 Canadian in here. We got Happy Wednesday, boys, from Daniel Aker. Jay Wolf saying, good evening, gentlemen. Lush Lemaine with the Shama. Matt needs a whiskey shot. That's what I feel like a little bit. Get rid of that bitch called I need captions. Oh no, I'm sorry, that takes sack. Hobby Goats, I appreciate Jim Card collecting. All right, so with that being said, D-Rose, let's get into our UFC St. Louis recap. Let me pull up the card real quick as a whole, and I'll run down it, and then you can go. So main event, Derek Lewis. This one, I did bet Derek Lewis round one knockout. I put $20 on it. I was already up. I think I was up like 620 by the time that the main event happened. So I put $20, Derek Lewis round one knockout, and unfortunately it didn't happen. Derek Lewis gets the round three knockout. I am glad that he knocked out the Brazilian cab driver, in his words. And then, dude, I know Derek Lewis loves to take off his pants, but this past weekend was it was like the dude took off his pants, threw his gloves, threw his cup, then mooned the crowd, was like fucking waving his pants over like fucking Nascimento trying to wake him up, dude. It was just like, Jesus. Derek Lewis was over the top this past weekend, and I loved every single bit of it. Co-main event, Joaquin Buckley. Kind of fraud checks in our Sultan Rizaboev, dude. And how funny was like the bicycle kicks when he was like on the ground, just like throwing a fucking temper tantrum. I was kind of laughing at that. I was like, he's kicking him right there. He's just upset at this point that he ain't winning this fight. But yeah, Joaquin Buckley does get the decision win over Nursultan Rizaboev. Carlos Ulberg snoozes Alonzo Minifield in 12 seconds into the first round. Yeah, Carlos Ulberg, a problem, dude, especially at 205. Diego Ferreira, dude, versus Matus Raumbetsky, dude. Round one was like, all right, this is going exactly how I thought this was going to go. He's going to get knocked out soon. And then, dude, it's like Matus Raumbetsky just gassed. And then Diego Ferreira just comes back, dude, and busts Matus Raumbetsky's face up. And it looked awful after the fight. He is healing, though. Sean Woodson does get the decision win over Alex Caceres in his hometown. This one, Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Robelos de Spain. Another fraud check happens here, dude, but Robelos de Spain was 5-0. We knew he probably didn't have a ground game, being Olympic Taekwondo. But fucking Waldo Cortez Acosta, as shitty and terrible as that fight was, dude, he did what he had to do to win. So I understand. Chase Hooper with the paws, dude. That's all I'm going to say. Chase Hooper with the paws. Knuckled up. Did you see the lump on Slavik Klaus's head, dude? That shit was huge. It's like Chase the Dream has a dream of becoming an elite striker, and he might be doing so, dude. Esteban Ribovics, this one, Esteban Ribovics versus Terrence McKinney. After the Tabitha Ricci, Tisha Torres, decision, I was like, I have to go pee. Ran upstairs, I went to use the bathroom, and then I think I was going to get like my phone charger. And then she asked me to grab something, so I grabbed something for her, and I was like, all right, I can finally pee, dude. So I pulled up the fight on my phone while I was trying to pee, dude, and I saw the replay. I saw fucking Terrence McKinney sitting there, and it was the replay of him getting head kicked. So I didn't even see the fight, dude. I just saw the replay. It's like it happened so quick. Like this past weekend, they were fight, and it was just going on like one after like another. But Esteban Rivovics does get the round 1 knockout over T-Rex. I had that to start round 2 in quite a bit, or Esteban Rivovics round 2 knockout, but yeah, didn't even come close. Tabitha Ricci maybe gets a robbery decision over Tisha Torres, dude. I really I picked Tabitha Ricci to win that fight, and I had bet Tabitha Ricci to win that fight in basically every parlay I had, dude. And I was sweating when that decision was being called, dude. I was like, oh fuck, dude, I don't know how this fight's gonna go. I was so happy. Trey Waters, Billy Goff, dude. I messaged you about this fight. Probably one of the best fights of the year, dude. It was like all offense, no defense, all gas, no breaks, however you want to say it, dude. Billy Goff, Trey Waters was a barn burner. Charles Johnson gets the decision win over Jake Hadley, and Veronica Hardy gets the decision win over JJ Aldrich. Yeah, man. Anything I didn't cover or anything you want to say?
Yeah. I mean, as far as the main event, USA in this hoe got to represent now that I was able to finally find the shirt. But yeah, was glad to see Derek Lewis get back in the win column. I think people might have forgotten about the Jailton Almeida fight. That's how bad that fight was. And also for Derek Lewis, as someone who had a bet on him, 1, 2, or 3, and of course that parlay had already busted, but I had a straight up bet with him too. Watching Derek Lewis go for a takedown against the fence, dude, my head was about to explode. I could not take it anymore. Like, I was like, dude, stop going for a takedown, get off the fence and go and knock his ass out. And then finally, it was like his coaches went back in the corner and was like, all right, Derek, it's time to knock him out. And then he just comes out in the third round. And he's like, all right, yep, boom, and just hits him with one of them freaking lunch boxes. And puts him to sleep. So yeah, it was a good win for him, good bounce back win, and of course love the energy and everything afterwards. But man, I think
then he showed the dark side of the moon, right?
Yeah, one of the absolute worst sightings I'm sure them fans have probably ever seen was the line in Derek Lewis's ass right in their face. Yeah, I'm sure that was horrifying for those people. But honestly, I thought who really stole the show. Honestly, I thought Joaquin Buckley did. Just because during the fight, when he was walking out, the crowds were going absolutely crazy. And we saw how the crowd was booing Rodrigo Nascimento when he went for the takedown against Derek Lewis in the first round. But dude, when Ruzaboyev goes for the flying knee and he misses and Joaquin Buckley basically tackles him like a linebacker, dude, that crowd starts going crazy. Like, they're like, whoa. All of a sudden, dude, I had cold chills going up my spine, listening to that crowd cheer for them. So, yeah, that was an awesome performance from Buckley. Just seeing the size difference was absolutely crazy, but he still hurt Ruzaboyev in the third round as well. Ended up rocking him. Yeah, I thought he was going to get the finish there, but the refs let the fights go a little longer than what they normally do on Saturday for a lot of different fights.
Keith Peterson is just Keith Peterson. It just is what it is.
Yeah, dude, because looking back, I think it was which of course Carlos Ulberg won. That fight got stopped at the perfect time because when Minifield got up, he didn't know where he was at. And it reminded me of when Tai Tuivasa knocked out Greg Hardy, and he looks up at the lights and he's just immediately dude, Alonzo Minifield stands up, he looks at the ref, and then he just goes, oh, you can just see he is just trying to block all the lights because he just got his fucking bell wrong. That the hand speed on Carlos Ulberg, I say it every time. The dude punches like he's a welterweight, with his hand speed. It's going to be hard for a lot of guys to beat him, man. And again, the left hook. That dude has one of the most dangerous left hooks. He might not be Alex Pereira, dude, but damn, I'm not going to say that they're ready to fight just yet, but could you imagine a fight between Ulberg and
they could tie their right hand behind their back and just be a battle of left hooks.
yes, just left hooks and check left hooks and leg kicks until one of them falls. And I still think it'd be an awesome fight because both of them can get into a scrap too. So yeah, Ulberg's doing a lot of good things to put himself in good positions here. And yeah, the other one that I thought late stoppage on, dude, Chase Hooper and Slava Claus. I thought, okay, did Slava Claus tap? No, but in that first round, the fight absolutely
Like,
should have been stopped.
it could have been stopped in the first, second, or the third round just due to strikes. It is like he's like, all right, well, I guess you ain't gonna stop it, so I guess I have to choke him. Like that's what it was like.
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't understand why that late stoppage came in, but yeah, dude, Chase Hooper, he
Keith
looked,
Peterson.
great. Yeah, dude, Chase Hooper looked great. Like that bounce back win from him. And I think for Sean Woodson, that's a good win for him against a good tough guy in Alex Caceres. 30-27 scorecard for him was a little wild for me because Alex Caceres definitely won that third round, but yeah, I can definitely see where Sean Woodson won that fight. So good win for him. And your boy Rebellis de Spain, man. I mean, sure, picking Josh Parisian probably wasn't the smartest thing for me, but I like it. It's seeing that none of his fights had went past like the first minute. Like it's like, dude, it's as soon as you get someone who has like any sort of inkling to like defend themselves for a minute and take him down, they're going to, and the fight's going to be over. I didn't think Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Yeah, I didn't expect he was going to take him down.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to be the one to be able to do it, but yeah, he did exactly what you would against a big just menace that Rebellis de Spain is. So yeah, I think he can make fun matchups, but people calling him the next Ngannou, yeah, let's pump the brakes on that. And then the last one I'll talk about, because I know you already talked about the whole card, is Esteban. Dude, a nasty knockout. I was watching it at work, and so I had it pulled up on my phone, and I was talking to my manager as I was watching the fight. So we were kind of talking. I looked down and I go, and like when I did it, like he looked at me, he was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Dude, this is nasty knockout." And because I had it on YouTube TV, and I had to go back and show him because he thought like, something like crazy had happened, like like work related wise. And I was like, "No, like you missed this, you missed this knockout here." But yeah, can you believe as well? He did not get a bonus. And I'm sure it was one of those like backstage ones where Daniel's like, "Hey, I'll take care of him." But yeah, that's kind of wild to think that that's one of the probably knockouts of the year. That's definitely going to be a discussion for knockout of the year at the end of the year, and you cannot give that dude a bonus by any means. Yeah, the UFC completely dropped the ball on that. But yeah, overall, I thought again, like I said earlier, the St. Louis crowd, dude, they absolutely brought it. From the start of the show to the end of the show. And yeah, I hope the UFC really does manage to do what Dana said and kind of, stay on the road and keep these shows up more consistently, because they definitely brought the energy. And Joaquin Buckley even alluded to it himself, saying that, he got kind of tired there in the third round, but, the crowd kind of cheering every time he landed a strike kind of willed him to, want to muster up the energy to, come up with a good finish. And yeah, I hope the UFC continues to do that going forward as far as getting in front of crowds and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did hear, like the Dana said, that starting in 2025, they would like to not use the Apex anymore. So hopefully, dude, hopefully. So with that being said, D-Rose, that's our recap. We got some being eaten to do. So our three different picks for this past weekend were Tabitha Ricci versus Tisha Pennington, where I went Tabitha Ricci and you went Tisha Pennington. Our second different pick was Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Rebellis de Spain, where I went Rebellis de Spain and you went Waldo Cortez Acosta. Always comes down to the last one, Joaquin Buckley versus Nursultan Rizboev. And I was on Nursultan Rizboev and you were on Newmont. So Joaquin Buckley, which means I get to eat the beans this week. Not excited, to be honest, but
you were a split decision away from eating three of them, dude. Like that, and that Tisha and Baby Shark fight, that was a close fight.
I know. On a good note, I feel like I haven't tried to eat anything today yet, and it's now 8:57, so I've just had liquids. So I feel like there's a high chance I won't taste anything if I eat these. So it is what it is. So
or the flavor is going to be even more enhanced because where you haven't eaten anything today, this is going to be the first bit of food that.
Dude, why do I always get the blue one? How many blue ones are in here? I feel like there's like 17 blue ones. But it's a toothpaste. Man. But there's a white one here too, though. That's the one that's birthday cake. Oh, dirty dishwater, dude. I don't want that one.
Oh, dun dun dun.
Dude, I have to get a trash bag ready. Hold on.
Oh, say you
Because
can't.
I don't have a bag here. You gotta give me a moment.
Austin launch bean gate. Austin launch bean gate. He's walking away from the beans.
Well,
When has anybody ever walked away?
Here, let me aim the.
He's walking away.
They're still there.
The culprits. He's grabbing some replacements back there, boys. Don't let him off the hook here.
I had to get a fresh target bag because your boy, if he has to spit them out, I gotta.
Yeah, for that I actually cannot blame you. Yeah, some of these ones are pretty nasty. Even some of the ones that are like actually supposed to be like the good flavors are actually gross. Like,
all right, I really hope this is birthday, but like the birthday cake one wasn't good either because it was just like bad frosting.
It's waxy. Yeah. It tastes like wax.
All right, here we go. Oh, D Rose, dude,
enhanced flavor, baby.
It's like, dude, you. That's why I'm so confused. Fucking sometimes how you chew them up, and you don't. You're like, what flavor is that, dude? I take one bite into it, and I immediately know that it ain't a good bean, dude.
Well, because I don't have my tongue like near it, so I'm just chewing it,
dude,
just to chew it.
Good.
Oh man, that is the
dude. That one's the worst one, dude. The worst one.
Yeah.
I didn't. That was well, it's the blue one. I do. Like I chewed down once. That one's blueberry, by the way. I chewed down once. Man. I chewed down once, and it was like I knew, like it's like my mouth filled with like old stinky sock flavor.
Not good. See, well, again, you are you have not eaten anything today, which typically before the podcast, I normally have dinner before I come down here. So the flavors are, I might have flavors from dinner prior to where your flavors are all in that bean right there. That's your first.
Now it's they're mixing. They're like fucking mixing now. It's like blueberry and dirty dishwater, and it's not good.
Dirty dishwater is the most powerful dirty jelly bean in that damn pile, and it's not even close. Like,
dude, the Band-Aid's pretty bad too.
The Band-Aid is bad. Like I will give you that, but yeah, I mean I haven't tried it. I'm just going to say it's bad, but dude, yeah, that dishwater, man. Yeah, that's the GOAT as far as the bad one, in my opinion, at least. That's the GOAT for sure.
They should make Dumont's Dump Truck flavor. Yeah, you sick assholes would be fucking searching through it just so you could eat it.
Do they sell a box with exclusively that flavor?
Austin said, "Gotta chew it more." Fuck you, Austin. There's zero chance I'm chewing that shit anymore, dude. Once I know the flavor is terrible, dude, no, it went in my mouth and I chewed it. No, no.
Yeah, y'all. Matt, I know he's good for sending y'all some cards. Let him send y'all some of those beans, and
yeah,
you'll see.
Just
especially
please,
the dirty dishwater.
Just please, you guys, go on Amazon and get the 6th edition Bean Boozled, and just eat 2 of them. Just see what it's like. Just eat one at a time. Just 2, and you'll understand. Or maybe you'll be like D Rose and get nothing but good flavors. Like what the bullshit. Anyway,
not a chance.
So with that being said, let's get into our UFC news and our fight announcements. Oh, dude, my stomach's making a weird noise. That's the sound that it's making. I'm trying to figure out where we're at.
Like, why would you consume the jelly bean? You're like, I didn't. I just chewed it and spit it out.
Did we do Michel Pereira versus Roman Dolidze last week? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, with that being said, we'll start right here. This is a good place. Here we go.
Like we did it anyway.
Yeah. We've got Shauna Bannon taking on Ravina Oliveira. You care about this one at all? This is happening UFC 304, July 27th. That's going to be in the UK, D-Rose.
Yeah. I do not really care about this fight that much, to be honest.
Okay. Fair enough. Dude. Okay.
How many changes have there been?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to. So it was going to be Josh Van versus Tatsuro Taira, right?
Yeah, but wasn't Josh Van replacing somebody to fight Tatsuro Taira? Like, wasn't that the case?
Yeah, well, I saw like the Tatsuro Taira has a new opponent as well. So I don't know. Like maybe they're like
matchup prospects.
Yeah, that's probably more of like what it was. But yeah, what's your thoughts on this fight? Vegas 93, June 15th. That's your next Apex card.
That's a tough card, or that's a tough fight, but that's a good fight. And I think as far as maybe Tatsuro Taira, he's one of the guys I think the UFC is behind as far as trying to push in that division. And I think that Josh Van is another guy who they kind of look at as potentially the same way. They both have good fights and good finishes so far in their careers. And yeah, I think it's a little weird how they've been kind of playing them like little chess pieces as far as all these matches that we've seen. And I know nothing was like official, but just seeing, the rumors of all the different fights is just, I'm sure it's probably tough for the fighters to kind of stick with it consistently. But yeah, that should be a good fight.
Yeah. Austin ordered the 6th edition Bean Boozled. Dude, Austin, you are a brave man, dude.
What the hell is the 6th edition?
That's the one that we got, D-Rose. The 6th edition.
Oh, is it the 6th edition? Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize ours was the 6th. Oh.
All right.
Lord be with you, Austin.
All right, so here it is, dude. Alex Perez taking on Tatsuro Taira. That's going to be headlining the same card, dude. UFC Vegas 93, June 15th, dude.
Maybe they're just trying to match up Alex Perez against a bunch of contenders because maybe they just look at him as a gatekeeper at this point. But, I mean, he's always put on fun fights from where I've seen him. But, I mean, I guess, yeah, just going to be trying to be an elite gatekeeper. But Tatsuro Taira, good fighter. But, yeah, as we see with Alex Perez, man, he gave Mikhail a problem and put old Nickel out of sleep. So, yeah, he's been looking sharp as of late.
I don't like this fight for Taira, man. I'll be interested as to what the odds are, like, to this fight when they drop.
Wasn't it supposed to be Perez versus Ulanbekov as well? Like, what?
I think so, dude. I'm pretty sure they just like switched fights, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did too. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I mean, I know the UFC hasn't announced anything yet, but. Yeah, it's just all kind of weird how they're just shuffling everybody around like that.
I agree. We have the meatball, Molly McCann, going to return against Bruno Brazil. You think we see another meatball sub here or probably not?
Hey, there could be a chance, or we could see another people's elbow again. Who knows? But yeah, I think I think it's good matchmaking for Molly McCann here, and I mean, which should be a good scrap, but it should be Molly should be able to win as long as she could stuff the takedowns. Molly meatball sub.
See, I think Bruno Brazil is an excellent striker at range, dude. I don't think Molly stands a chance in this fight altogether, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, I guess that's like
it's in England too, though.
I'm
surprised they made that matchup in England, I guess.
Yeah, I just like the way that Molly can kind of get down and get dirty, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, that's for this weekend. We got your guy returning, dude. Cody Brundage taking Abdul Razak Al Hassan.
Oh,
July 13th.
that's a interesting, I guess I can say, fight. Yeah, Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Of course, we know the explosive power that he has, and Brundage. Again, I'll tell all y'all: do not bet any of his fights. If you care about your financial stability in gambling, do not put any money
Your mental
on
stability.
Cody Brundage. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in regards to the over under rounds, method of victory for the opponent, him, anything. Like I'm telling you, it will not go the way you will want it to if you bet a fight with him involved in it. So just stay away altogether, and your life will be happy.
I agree. What's going on, Edward? Appreciate you stopping by tonight, brother. Saying what's up. Yeah, don't bet on that fight. We
At
got
all.
Brad Tavares taking on the Iron Turtle, Jung Young Park. UFC Vegas 94, July 20th. Man, my throat, dude.
Dude, that's a good scrap. Yeah, the Iron Turtle, I know it's your guy, and I mean, which he does put on good fights. I thought that Andre Muniz fight, I thought that was kind of disappointing for him because I thought that was a good chance for him to kind of, be able to kind of break off into the top 15 of the division. But it was a good bounce back win for Muniz as well. But I think, I think he matches up with Tavares well. Tavares stuffs the takedown well, but yeah, we never actually seen him on his back, and Iron Turtle can put on pressure. So, but that should be a good fight.
Indeed. Dude, tough one here, dude. We've got Tracy Cortez taking on Miranda Fear the Maverick, July 20th, UFC Vegas 94. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that is a tough fight because Miranda Maverick's boxing, it has gotten a little bit better, and we know the takedown threat that she is. But Tracy Cortez, she also has really good footwork. Her striking's crisp. She doesn't necessarily go for the finish a lot, but she's super technical with her striking, and she has really good takedown defense as well. So, yeah, I think that's going to be, this is going to be a tough fight to call. If you're asking me who's going to be the favorite starting out, I'm going to have to say Tracy Cortez. But yeah, depending on how big of a dog Miranda Maverick is, yeah, I'd be willing to play some money on it. That's how close I think this fight really could be.
Fair enough. It looks like these comments right here don't agree. We're saying Max bet Tracy, Miranda getting cut. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Close fight.
No, we know. No, Miranda's a dog, man. Yeah, I'm never counting her out in a fight.
Yeah, and lastly, our last announcement, we have Amanda Lamish taking on Verna Jandiroba. That's going to be same card, the UFC Vegas, July 20th, UFC Vegas 94.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
Wait,
as
is
well.
this one a main event? No.
Also, I would hope Tracy Cortez and Miranda Maverick wasn't the main event, but yeah, that's a tough fight for Amanda Lamish, though. We see how tough Verna Jandiroba is, and every single time we kind of count her out in a fight, that's when she ends up showing up the most. So, and we know that Amanda Lamish, she can stuff the takedowns, but it's all of when she gets taken down, she's not very good off her back, and yeah, that's where Verna can really take over in that fight. So yeah, that's a good fight.
Indeed. Yeah, so that's our last one. Kakadai versus Amanda Lamish. That'll be interesting, dude. So with that being said, D-Rose, is there anything before we move on to our fights for this weekend that you would like to talk about? What's going on, D-Hunt?
Did you see? And this is just a sidebar, I guess, because we were kind of talking about Dana White in the press conference and what he was talking about the other day. Did you see that dork of a lady that was asking Dana about trying to get Donald Cerrone to brand her?
No.
Like, yeah, and yeah, you have to look this up. It is so stupid because I ended up listening to Dana's press conference after the fight, and the girl's like, yeah, something about how she wanted to she had like a bet to fulfill or something like that, and she was like, yeah, I lost, and I want to get branded. And Dana's like, you want to get branded? And she was like, yeah, and I want Cowboy Cerrone to do it. Can you facilitate this for me? And he's like, no, I cannot. And he was like, why would you want to do that? And she's like, oh, because I want to be the women's BMF. Like, what the dude, would you get the hell out of here? Like, what are you even doing? Like, sitting up here asking questions, like you look stupid. Like Dana's like he's like, what the hell? Like, I guess you like freaky shit or something like that. Like, yeah, that's literally what he told her, was like, yeah, you like freaky shit, I guess. But yeah, it was completely weird. And yeah, I don't know where that came from, but yeah, that lady was definitely annoying.
All right. Well, D Rose, with your explanation of it, I don't think I want to go look it up. It was something about cowboy riding Dana's bull. Fair enough.
There you
go. All right, D Rose. This weekend, we are going to be back in the Apex for UFC Vegas 92, Edson Barboza versus Lerone Murphy. Going to be taking place Saturday, May 18th at 4 p.m. East Coast time. It's going to be taking place at the Apex in Las Vegas. We've got 12 fights, headlined by Edson Jr. Barboza taking on Lerone the Miracle Murphy. We've got Chaos Williams taking on Carlston Harris. We've got Ramiz Brahimaj taking on Thimba Garimbo. We've got one of our favorites. That's the shirt I was going to put on today. My Adrian Yanez shirt. But Adrian Yanez is going to be taking on Vicinas Salvador. We've got Angie Overkill Hill taking on Luana Pinheiro. We've got Tom Nolan taking on Victor Martinez. We've got Omar C taking on Tuco Tokens. What a name. We've got Tamaris Vidal taking on Melissa Gatto. Abus Magomedov taking on Warley Alves. Piera La Fiera Rodriguez taking on a Bulldog. Ariane Carnelosi. You got the biggest arms in the UFC. It looks like someone attached Paulo Costa's arms to her. We've got Alatong Haley taking on Kalajason Rodriguez. And the first fight of the night going to be Emily Ducote taking on the former stripper in Vanessa Lil Monster Demopoulos. What do you think about the fights altogether, D-Rose? Pretty good card this weekend. Well, I don't want to say a good card. I think it's a very bettable card for me personally. I already have a few bets.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was gonna say I need more props. I got like a parlay with like some heavy favorites right now because I just wanted to catch the lines early in the week versus kind of the day before the fight. But yeah, tough for me anyway. Kind of a tough week because it's got some wacky odds. I would say as far as the fight card as a whole, it's in the Apex. So the card's in the Apex.
Pretty sure she had the same girl had Dylan Danish choke her out mid interview. What a weirdo. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we got Lush taking notes for us. We appreciate you, Lush. All right. So first fight of the night, we've got Emily Ducote, 13-8-0 overall out of her last 5 fights. She is 3-2, with 4 of them being in the UFC, with a win over Jessica Penne, lost to Angie Hill and Lupe Godinez, and then a win over Ashley Yoder in her last fight. On the other hand, Vanessa Demopoulos, Little Monster, is 10-5 overall. Her last 5 fights were in the UFC, where she armbarred Silvana Gomez Suarez, split decision win over Jin Yu Frey, unanimous decision win over Maria Oliveira, lost to Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and a decision win over Kanako Murata. Currently, odds for this fight are, well, that's basketball. Come on now. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 265 for Vanessa Demopoulos and minus 370 for Emily Ducote. That line has moved a lot because I think I bet Emily Ducote minus 330 earlier in the week. Anyway, currently, Emily Ducote, 30 years old, 5'2", and a 63-inch reach, while a little monster Vanessa Demopoulos is 35 years old, 5'2", and a 59-inch reach. Yeah, Emily Ducote is good against people on her level. And I think Vanessa Demopoulos is not even on Emily Ducote's level, dude. If you're not going to go out there and take Emily Ducote down, dude, she's going to kind of stand in front of you and just kind of pick you apart for the 3 rounds. And Vanessa Demopoulos' striking is not good. She just kind of just throws and tries to run into you to get you to the ground to armbar you, and I don't think that's going to work here. Give me Emily Gordina Ducote to win this fight via decision. D-Rose, which way are you going here? Oh, we got props, D-Rose, for that to happen. Emily Ducote by points, minus 175. It's Wednesday, baby. We got full card props.
Wow. Yeah, that's a
Shout out
shocker there to
FanDuel.
have. Yeah. FanDuel's on it to have for Emily Ducote and Vanessa Demopoulos odds, for method of victory. Yeah, that's strong for FanDuel.
I will be making a parlay as we go through the show. So first pick is going to be Emily Ducote by points.
Same.
All right.
Same. And I'm with you there. You couldn't have broken it down much, I couldn't have broken it down much better than you. Yeah, I'm going Emily Ducote by points.
All right, fair enough. We will move on to the next fight. That is Alatong Haley taking on Clejason Rodriguez, a very Brazilian name, Clejason.
Rodriguez.
Anyway,
Like that was like
right?
if you just heard that name, you just see that name like written. Like if you're a substitute teacher and you're coming in and you're reading over the list of your students in your class and you see Clejason Rodriguez, like you see that and you automatically know, yeah, that dude's Brazilian. Like there's no way 100% Brazilian. 100%.
Yeah. Anyway, the Mongolian Knight, Alatong Haley, 16-9 overall. His last 5 fights were in the UFC. 3 years ago, lost to Casey Kinney. Haven't seen him in a long time. A draw to Gustavo Lopez, a win against Kevin Kroom knockout, unanimous decision win over Chad Anheliger, and lost to Chris Gutierrez. So not too bad. As were Clejason Rodriguez, fought down at 125 mostly, and has had 3 fights in the UFC where he lost a split decision to CJ Vergara, knocked out Shannon Ross, which, a fart would probably knock out Shannon Ross, and then got submitted in his first fight up at 135. What's up, D-Rose?
I always think about that video.
I have no clue what you're saying.
Always think
with
about
the chicken
Shannon Ross when he turned into a chicken tender. There's a video of when Shannon Ross got knocked out by who was it? The Mexican
Jesus Aguilar.
Jesus Aguilar, when he got knocked out by him. And someone did a video compilation of like someone cooking a chicken tender at the same time with him getting knocked out. So every time I hear Shannon Ross's name, I just think of a chicken tender getting tossed and cooked like afterwards because Shannon Ross got cooked. Like, oh
Dude.
man.
Oh man. All right. Well, anyway, so he knocked out Shannon Ross, and then but missed weight in both of those fights. So they put him up at 135 to fight Farid Basharat, and he got arm triangled in the first round in the last fight. Currently odds for this fight plus 126, Alatong Haley, minus 162, Clejason Rodriguez. Alatong Haley, 32 years old, 5'5", and a 66-inch reach, while Clejason Rodriguez is 28 years old, 5'5", and a 67-inch reach. I don't feel confident on this one either way. If I happen to bet this one, it'll just be like just a Hail Mary. It's just in my 12-leg parlay, and I just pick the winner. But yeah, D-Rose, give me the dog here. Alatong Haley to win by decision.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This one is a coin flip to me. I mean, I know you just said I know you said the betting lines are, pretty close, and just because I'm looking on ESPN now, they have Cleveland minus 150, Alton Haley plus 125. I mean, yeah, pretty close in terms of style. I think Alton Haley can put a little bit of the pressure and kind of like the wrestling pace a little bit on Cleveland Rodriguez.
Here's one thing, Deros. I was listening to Uncle Weezy. Shout out Uncle Weezy. He has the stats, dude. And do you know out of Alatung Haley's all of his fights, he has only shot takedowns in the third round and shot one takedown in the second round that he didn't get. So he only shoots takedowns in the third round for some reason. Like he doesn't shoot in round 1 or 2. So it's like,
yeah,
I don't know why.
That is weird. Yeah, well, and maybe at that point too, once he's kind of realized that he's put his pressure and pace on him, maybe he can utilize his wrestling there in the third round as well. I think that's something that he could potentially take advantage of, though, against Cleveland Rodriguez, where I think Cleveland Rodriguez is a little bit of a powerhouse. Good punching power, good boxing. But yeah, obviously on the stats right now, they're the same size, 5'5", just an inch and reach disadvantage. But I guess you'd think of Cleveland Rodriguez coming up to 135. I guess you're thinking about him mentally having the size disadvantage. I'm going to go Cleveland Rodriguez here because I know it's going to be hard for us to have a lot of different picks. I do think Cleveland Rodriguez, again, does have the power and the more crisp striking. But, yeah, this fight goes on a little bit into the later rounds. Again, I could see Alton Haley kind of surviving. But let's go Cleveland here. Let's go by decision for Cleveland.
Gotcha. I'm clicking this picture real quick, getting ready for the next fight. So D Rose on Cleveland Rodriguez via decision. I am on Alatung Haley. The slide. I mean, plus 126, minus 162. Yeah, I mean, he's the dog, but I mean, I don't really have a strong opinion on that fight either way, to be honest. So we'll move on to the next one. That is Piera La Fiera Rodriguez taking on Ariane Carnilosi, dude. Piera Rodriguez is 9-1 overall. Only loss was to Jillian Robertson via an armbar in her last fight, which was a year ago. On the other hand, Ariane Carnilosi has had 3 fights in the UFC. Knockout over Na Liang, which isn't really saying much. Win over Estela Nunez, rear naked choke, which Estela Nunez is kind of okay. And then lost to Lupe Godinez, which, I mean, Lupe's good. So what can you say? Currently odds for this fight, minus 235 for Pierre Rodriguez, plus 180 for Ariane Carnilosi. Pierre Rodriguez, 31 years old, 5'3" and a 63.5-inch reach, while Ariane Carnilosi is 31 years old, 5'2" and a 61.5-inch reach. D Rose, would you like to break it down and make your pick, my
guy? Yes, and so the reason why I'm a little bit hesitant is I'll just say I'm going to go Pierre Rodriguez here, but and I know that Carnilosi doesn't have the submission skills quite like Jillian Robertson does, but Jillian Robertson was kind of able to pretty easily dominate Pierre Rodriguez on the ground once she kind of got her there, which is a little concerning. Looking at this fight, I think Carnilosi, as you said, she's built like a brick shit house. And she comes in there to try to utilize her wrestling. Again, I don't think she has the submission skills that Jillian Robertson does, which is why I'm going to go Pierre Rodriguez here. But yeah, Carnilosi is able to get some takedowns here. Be careful, but I do think Pierre Rodriguez is the more crisp striker. So I do think she should be able to kind of play at a range. And I'll say Pierre Rodriguez wins the decision.
Fair enough. I am. How can you pick against that, Deros?
She's a tank, dude.
I just can't, dude. Yeah, give me Ariane Carnelossi to win this fight via decision. But it's just because I think Pierre Rodriguez is going to gas because she's going to realize when Ariane puts the pressure on her that her striking doesn't do enough damage to back Ariane off. And so Ariane is just going to be in her face the entire fight, putting out the more damage. And Ariane Carnelossi is going to win this fight via decision as the dog. Plus 180 Ariane dog. So 2 dogs in a row for your boy over here. Yeah, I am on Ariane Carnelossi, while D Rose is on the favorite of Pierre La Fiera Rodriguez, hailing from Venezuela. D Rose.
Yeah, you're a risky one. Obviously, you're feeling very doggy. Snoop Doggy Dog.
A little bit.
Matt Doggy Dog in the house.
So we'll move on to the next one. That is here we go. So we'll move on to the next one. That is Abus Magomedov taking on Warley Alves. Present share screen. That girl would kick all of our asses, Riley. What are you talking about?
She could probably bench press all of us too.
Right?
Like at the same time. And Albert all of us too.
Yeah. So up next, we got Abus Magomedov taking on Warley Alves. Abus Magomedov, 25-6-1, lost his last 2 in the UFC. Has only had 3 fights in the UFC where he front kicked Dustin Stolfutz in like 30 seconds, knocked him out. Warley Alves lost 4 of his last 5, all in the UFC, and the only win is over Munir Lazez by body kick. 14-7 overall. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 295 for Abus Magomedov and plus 220 for Warley Alves. Abus is 33 years old, 6'2", and a 78-inch reach, while Warley Alves is 33 years old, 5'11", and a 72-inch reach. D-Rose, I don't like Warley Alves up at 185. First of all, I just feel like he just don't want to cut weight anymore, and he just wants to fight at 185. And dude, for someone that isn't the best overall fighter, don't have the best cardio, Abus Magomedov is a very potent early striker, and that's pretty much all it takes to get Warley Alves out of there at this point. So, yeah, give me Abus Magomedov to probably knock out Warley Alves in the first round. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, I think couldn't have summed it up much better. I think Warley Alves, this is tailor-made for Abus Magomedov to get right because Warley Alves is a welterweight. I know he's taking the last few fights at middleweight, but I agree with you. I think that he's just trying not to cut weight anymore at this point. I don't know if he's trying to fight out his UFC contract, but yeah, I think him at middleweight's not good. And if you look at all of his losses, even at middleweight, most of them are early finishes. And Abus Magomedov, as we know, can be a fast starter. So as we saw in that Sean Strickland fight, before he ended up gassing out in the second there. So hopefully he doesn't go that hard. I am going to be looking to maybe place a bet Abus Magomedov by knockout rounds 1 or 2. But yeah, I think Abus Magomedov gets a knockout.
All right, so it looks like me and you are both on Abus Magomedov to defeat Warley Alves. So we'll move on to the next one where we have Tamaris Vidal taking on Melissa Gatto. So the tractor, Tamaris Vidal, is 7-2 overall. Lost her last fight against Montserrat Rendon via split decision, and then knocked out Ramona Pascal with a flying knee to the liver in our UFC debut. 7-2 overall. Melissa Gatto, on the other hand, is 8 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. She's had her last 4 fights in the UFC where she broke Victoria Leonardo's arm, knocked out Sajara Eubanks with a body kick, and then lost a decision to Tracy Cortez and a split decision to Ariane Lipsky. Yeah, D-Rose, looks like Melissa Gatto taking this fight on short notice, moving up to 135 pounds to take on Tamaris Vidal that used to fight at 145 pounds.
Tamaris Vidal, 25 years old, 5'6", 68-inch reach, while Melissa Gatto is 28 years old, 5'5", and a 69-inch reach. I want no part of this price, but give me Melissa Gatto to win this fight via decision. I won't be betting that one, though. I just don't think Tamaris Vidal is good. But if there's one thing she has, it's power, dude. And if you got power in women's MMA, you can knock some of these hoes out, dude. So it wouldn't surprise me if Tamaris Vidal knocked out Melissa Gatto. But, yeah, give me Melissa Gatto to win via decision. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, you broke it down great. I think the same thing. I think Tamaris Vidal, not that great of a fighter. I'm not touching this fight as far as bet line wise. Minus 360 for Melissa Gatto when she's technically kind of the smaller fighter. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting near that line whatsoever. So maybe bet this fight to go to decision, but even then, I just wouldn't. I'm not betting this fight at all. I'm making that clear. But yeah, let's go Melissa Gatto. Let's go by decision.
All right, fair enough. Me and you both on the same wave there. So up next, we have a fight that I have done absolutely no research on. We have Umar C taking on Tuco Tucos. That's his name, dude. Yeah, dude. So Umar C, brother of Sadibou C from PFL Tour. He is 9-0, fighting out of France, while Tuco Tucos is 10-3 overall. Fought 2 months ago, fighting out of the United Kingdom. Omar C is 28 years old, 6'5" and an 83-inch reach, while Tuco Tucos is 33 years old, 6'4" and a 75-inch reach. Fighting out of Killcliff, though, so he might have a solid game plan. But I mean, if you're the brother of a very, very good twice winner, fucking PFL Tour champion, you're probably trained with your brother and you're probably pretty good. And UFC is 100% bringing in this 9-0 prospect to crush this dude. I had bet Omar C against, who was he fighting? It was Antonio Tricoli, because I looked up him and that dude's just the jiu-jitsu guy, and that's it. So I knew he was going to crush that dude, but I don't really know anything about Tuco Tucos at this moment. So I'm going to do Omar C to win by knockout. Which way are you going here, T-Rose?
Yeah, now you're going to waste y'all's time on this one because I don't know anything about either fighter in this case. So I'm just going to go with you just to make sure this does not get thrown in the pig champ whatsoever. Yeah, let's go Umar C.
All right.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with that
one. So we'll move on to the next one. That is a fun one. A fun one indeed. We have Tom Big Train Nolan taking on Victor the Brick Martinez. Do you happen to remember Victor Martinez, D-Rose? Off the top of your head?
Yeah. Now I just remember that he lost to Jordan Levitt, but I can't.
He's the dude that like fucking Jordan Levitt knocked out, like with knees and
hit him with the knee, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I really remember from him.
That's the only thing you need to know when you are capping this fight right here this weekend. Tom, the Big Train Nolan, 6-1 overall. His only loss was to Nicholas Mota. He got knocked out, but Mota's got power. On the other hand, Victor Martinez is 13-5. Lost his UFC debut to Jordan Levitt via knees and punches. Currently, odds for this fight, I think they're blown out. Tom Nolan, minus 520. Victor Martinez is plus 350. Tom Nolan, 24 years old, 6'3" and a 73-inch reach, while Victor Martinez is 32 years old, 5'8" and a 70-inch reach. D-Rose, I don't know if there is a bigger setup fight on this entire card than having this 6'3" Australian heavy hitter fight the 5'8" guy that got knocked out by Jordan Levitt. So I'm going Tom Nolan via knockout here. Which way are you going, man?
Yeah, so I will say, as far as betting wise, I remember you taking a picture of one of your bets that Tom Nolan absolutely busted because Nicholas Moda knocked him out.
Mhm.
Tom Nolan is 6'3", and for the most part, he's going to have the range on his opponents. That dude does not use his range well when he fights at all. Like, that's how Nicholas Moda was able to get inside and land the big shots, able to get him out of there. So a little bit concerning for that part. So Tom Nolan not betting this fight whatsoever. But I do agree with you in terms of this being a setup fight. Just if you're betting Tom Nolan, you are going to clutch your pearls while you're watching him because he's going to stand there in the pocket and trade with somebody who he has a 5-inch or more reach advantage on, and it's going to drive you crazy. So, but yeah, I think Tom Nolan. I think Tom Nolan gets it done though.
All right, fair enough. So we'll move on to the next one where we have Angie Overkill Hill taking on Luana Pinheiro. This will be the second leg of my parlay here. It's probably one of the ones I have most confidence in. First leg was Emily Ducote by points. Who would have guessed we're doing women's MMA for my most confident picks? We got Angie Overkill Hill taking on Luana Pinheiro. Angie Overkill Hill, 16-13 overall. In her last 5 fights, all taking place within the last 2 years. Lost to Vernon Jane Jaroba, win over Lupe Godinez, win over Emily Ducote, lost to Mackenzie Dern, and a win over Denise Gomes. On the other hand, Luana Pinheiro has had 4 fights in the last 3 years in the UFC. This fight right here, D-Rose, every time she fights, I come back to this one. She wins a fight via disqualification on an illegal upkick. Dude, she was gassed, and was looking for a way out. Randa Marcos pushed off, and her foot like slid up and like touched her, and she fell back and act like she got hit with a sledgehammer in the face, dude. It was the craziest acting job in women's MMA I've ever seen. Yeah. Win over Sam Hughes. Michelle Watterson Gomez split decision win. So she's just getting gifted this decision win here, but then got knocked out by Amanda Hebus, dude. But in the fight, she was kind of cracking Amanda Hebus early, and then once Amanda Hebus saw those punches coming, then she was like, okay, this ain't happening anymore. When Amanda Hebus is able to dodge your punches, you don't have good punches, dude. Because we all
and she gassed.
Yeah.
And she gassed in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
She got finished in the 3rd round.
Yeah. Luana Pinheiro plus 118. Angie Overkill Hill minus 150. Angie Overkill Hill, 39 years old, 5'3", 64-inch reach, while Luana Pinheiro, 30 years old, 5'4", and a 62-inch reach. D-Rose, my play for this will be my second parlay leg, and it is plus 100. Angie Overkill Hill to win this fight via points. Yeah. So we got 2 legs right now, plus 214. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I think just like we were talking about with Luana Pinheiro, again, good striking. She's
what? I don't like, by points, I don't like that. I'm doing 3 or decision just because like Luana fucking gasses. Give me 3 or points.
Yeah, but when's the last time Angela Hill finished?
I don't.
I mean, I get you're covering yourself. I get it, and I probably do the same thing. But yeah,
but then when I look 3 or decision, she's minus 115, and she's only minus 150. I'm just going to do Angie Hill straight up. Angie Hill straight up the second leg of the parlay. Yeah,
just to cover yourself. But yeah, I think Luana Pinheiro, good striking. She again in that Hebos fight, she was touching up Hebos with some good strikes, but again, that the biggest thing with Pinheiro is that gas tank, and she gassed in the 3rd round, and all of a sudden, Hebos is walking her down, landing spinning heel kicks and shit. Like it was a sick finish from Amanda Hebos. Let's not get it twisted.
She made Amanda Hebos look like she was as athletic as Joaquin Buckley in that fight, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
she's out there styling.
She made Amanda Hebos look like Edson Barboza, like out there throwing like spinning heel kicks and shit like that, dude. Like it was crazy. So, and Angela Hill, if there's one thing that we're not going to have to sweat about her, is her gas tank. I mean, she's going to be able to put the pressure on just about anybody. So, I think Angela Hill gets it done, and I do think by decision. So, yeah, let's go Amanda Hill by decision here.
All right, me and D-Rose both on Angie Overkill Hill to win the fight via decision. So we'll move on to the next one,
where we got our guy fighting D-Rose. We've got Adrian Yanez taking on one of your other dudes that you used to like, Vicina Salvador. Yeah, dude, this will be my third leg of my parlay here. It's going to be Adrian Yanez via knockout at -110. But yeah, Adrian Yanez, 16-5 overall, lost his last 2 fights to Jonathan Martinez via leg kicks, and Rob Font got absolutely snoozed. But before that, won 3 fights. Randy Costa KO, Davey Grant split decision win, and Tony Kelly knockout. On the other hand, Vicina Salvador, 14-6 overall, also lost 2 of his last 5 fights, but his last 2 fights were in the UFC, and the last fight he won was a Shannon Ross knockout on the Contender Series, D-Rose. So, I mean, what can you say? I mean, -390 Adrian Yanez, +280 for Vicina Salvador. Adrian Yanez, 30 years old, 5'7", 70-inch reach, while Vicina Salvador, 27 years old, 5'7", 75-inch reach. Yeah, D-Rose, I don't think there is a way that Vicina Salvador wins this fight. He only finished Shannon Ross down at 125, and he's going to be fighting up at 135 against Adrian Yanez that we know is a legit contender at 135 pounds. Yeah, he lost to P1 in the top 5, but he's still good as shit. I think Adrian Yanez is going to smoke Vicina Salvador. So give me Adrian Yanez to knock out Vicina Salvador, probably in the first round, but I'm just going to do knockout -110.
Yeah, I think I know we were talking about Tom Nolan fight, him kind of being a setup to bounce back. I think this is the same thing for Adrian Yanez here. You know, this is the fight that he's not nowhere, you know, Benicio Salvador is not anywhere near the level of what Adrian Yanez has just fought, and Jonathan Martinez and Rob Font before that. So we're talking about 2 legit contenders there versus Benicio Salvador is a fringe guy at flyweight. So let alone at bantamweight here, I do think it sets up well for Adrian Yanez. I'm going to be curious to see how Adrian Yanez comes out, though, because after the Rob Font fight, I did listen to his interview earlier coming into this week, and he had said that, you know, one of the big things going into the Jonathan Martinez fight was that he had so much of the Rob Font fight in his head to not stand in the pocket and trade. And then he basically stayed at range with Jonathan Martinez and just ate the leg kicks because he almost got in his head so much about the Rob Font fight, about not wanting to get in the pocket and brawl. But he said that he's been training with, I believe Team Grasso. Yeah, he's been training with like Alexa Grasso and Diego Lopez and all those guys. So, yeah, it looks like he's trying to get a little bit more stability in his training and stuff like that. So I think he's going to be a little bit more sharp, a little bit more focused this time around. And yeah, I agree with you. I think he gets a knockout here.
All right.
I'm going Adrian Yanez.
Fair enough. Me and D-Rose both on Adrian Yanez via knockout. So we'll move on to the next fight. That is Ramiz Brahimaj taking on Themba Gorimbo. Ramiz Brahimaj is 10-4. Themba Gorimbo is 12-4. Out of Ramiz Brahimaj's last 4 fights in the UFC, he's lost 2 and won 2. Lost to Max Griffin, beat Sasha. Who the fuck is that dude? I don't even know who that is, dude. Lost to Court McGee, and then knocked out Michael Gilmore. Choked out Michael Gilmore, which isn't really saying a whole lot. On the other hand, Themba Gorimbo lost to AJ Fletcher via guillotine. Beat Takashi Sato via decision, and then knocked out Pete Rodriguez early in the first round in their last fight. Currently, odds for this fight are +148 Themba Gorimbo and -148 Themba Gorimbo, +114 Ramiz Brahimaj. Ramiz is 31 years old, 5'10", and a 73-inch reach, while Themba Gorimbo is 33 years old, 6'1", and a 70-inch reach. I was going to maybe put Themba in as my last leg of my parlay, D-Rose, but I don't even think I feel like it. I'm going to go Themba to win this fight. I don't know how But yeah, I think I might just close out the 3-leg D-Rose right now. 3 legs, $10 to win 50. It's plus 400. It is Emily Ducote by points, Angela Hill straight up, and Adrian Yanez by knockout. That's my parlay. Plus 400, $10 to win 50. I just launched it right now. So that's the parlay I made live on the podcast for this week. So that's cool. But yeah, give me Themagrimbo to win this fight. I don't know how, dearest. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, I think Brahim Hodge, he's got a couple decent win, like I guess as far as the submissions and stuff like that. But we do know Themagrimbo does have very suspect takedown defense. But I know that's something that he has been working on so far in his career. And I know the Pete Rodriguez fight didn't really get a chance to show it, but he has been making note of that's what he's been working on, because opponents saw how AJ Fletcher was able to basically take advantage of him so easily on the ground. And AJ Fletcher is not really that good of a UFC welterweight. I believe he's not even in the UFC anymore. So but I think that Themagrimbo, I think he gets it done here. Let's say by decision.
Fair enough. Looks like me and you both on Themagrimbo. You say by decision. Tim's going to tell the parlay and then deuce Tim. All right. So with that being said, me and D-Rose both on Themagrimbo, and we'll move on to the co-main event. That is Chaos Williams taking on Carlston Harris. D-Rose, here it is. The fighter that we get confused with everyone. It's Chaos Williams, right? It's got to be Chaos Williams and Jeremiah Wells, because they both fight the same. They kind of look the same too, yeah?
No. So I wouldn't say fight the same, because Jeremiah Wells uses a lot of wrestling, but they both do have ridiculous power though in their hands.
But they're both like raw and green when they punch. You just how they.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, they are, but yeah, very much so with the power though. Fool, that dude. He touches you and it's over.
Yeah, so I thought this fight had already happened, but it was Jeremiah Wells that he choked out last in Nashville when I watched live.
Well, it's been a while since we've seen Chaos Williams too.
Yeah, I think since the Rolando Bedoya fight, I believe. Yeah, a year ago. Yeah, and that's one where like, oh shit, Rolando Bedoya is good as fuck, and he came out in his next fight and just fucking got schooled. And we're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Anyway, so Chaos, the Ox fighter Williams, is 14-3 overall, while Carlston Moko, I think it's Mozambique, but Mocambique, Carlston Harris. I don't know what that little thing is there. Anyway, dude, do you know Guyana is I think one of 2 English-speaking countries in South America? That's where Carlston Harris is from. I used to work with a dude from Guyana. I was like, where's that from? He was like, fucking South America. I'm like, dude, look how like he was like dark, like African. And dude, he explained it all to me. I was like, dude, I did not know that that exists in South America, dude. But yeah, dude, there is I don't want to say, anyway, let's just move on. It doesn't matter. Anyway, English speaking South Americans, they do exist. So Carlston Harris is 36 years old, 6 foot and a 76-inch reach. Chaos Williams, 30 years old, 6 foot and a 77-inch reach. I think, D-Rose, I might be going dog hunting again here. Chaos Williams minus 136, Carlston Harris plus 108. I am not dog hunting. I am on the favorite in Chaos Williams. I think the line flipped.
Nah, Chaos has been the favorite. I think the line is actually came down.
Lines got a little bit closer.
Down.
Yeah.
Because Chaos was the favorite early on the week, and
I have him at minus 140 in a big parlay that I have. But give me Chaos Williams to win this fight. I don't feel great about it though. I have to be honest, because Carlston Harris, dude, he looks terrible
when he's fight. Like, he just looks so sloppy, but he keeps winning, dude. So I don't know what it is, man. I'm gonna go Chaos Williams, but if fucking Carlston Harris wins this fight, it ain't gonna surprise me, dude. I'm gonna be like, that's Carlston Harris, man. The English speaking Southern South American.
Anyway, nobody cares. And
No one cares. People care as much as when GDR was pregnant, dude.
Yeah, nah, that was that was news that shook the world as well as the bantamweight and the featherweight division. So, see, everybody was concerned about that. But no, I think for this fight in particular, I do think this was a little tough to call because I do agree with you that for Carlston Harris, his fighting style, you could say it's very kind of sloppy. His striking isn't the best, but the dude does have good submissions off his back. He's got good kicks too, but you could just see that his hands just aren't quite there. But again, good submissions.
Dude, I just now remembered Shavkat could not get his ass down. I remember Shavkat trying to take him down, and he couldn't fucking take him down. So he ended up dropping him and then hitting him with the fucking ground and pound.
Yeah, as I say, he hit him with the spinning heel kick and ended up and dropped Carlston Harris and put him out. So Jeremiah Wells was actually took him down a couple of different times, and he took him down there in the third round, I believe, which ended up leading to the Carlston Harris setting up the submission, to get the comeback win. So and he does have that ability, but I do think that he has that ability to get hit as well. Chaos Williams ain't gonna look to take this fight down to the ground. Going to look to land one of them hammers, and I think Chaos Williams gets a knockout here. I heard him in an interview coming in this week too, and he said that he's actually taking the year off to over this last year to kind of reset, try to work on some of his skills, and try to round out his game a little bit more. As far as his takedown defense, his jiu-jitsu, as far as using it for defense, and kind of working on his crisp boxing skills a little more as well. So, I think Chaos Williams is coming in ready, and I think he gets a knockout.
Well, then, stand up Murcielago MMA in Detroit, right?
Stand up.
All right. Heroes, so it is main event time where we have Edson Jr. Barboza taking on Lerone the Miracle Murphy. I look down at my parlay and I see I have bet Lerone Murphy, and I'm not happy about it. Anyway, Edson Barboza 24-11, while Lerone the Miracle Murphy 13-0-1. In his last 5 fights, Edson Barboza knockout over Shane Burgos in one of the craziest knockouts you'll ever see. Lost to Giga Chikadze, lost to Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell mollywopped Edson Barboza. And then knocked out Billy Quarantillo, and then that win over Sadiq Yusuf, dude. I think this fight has the potential to look a lot like that fight, aside from the first round happening. Because Lerone Murphy, 13-0, won every single one of his fights. His best win is probably against
Gabriel Sanchez, probably.
Man, either Josh Kulabau or Makwan Amirkhani, dude. And Makwan is ass outside of the first round. He has a hard round 1 in him, but that's it. And then Josh Kulabau, that was a close fight, dude, because I remember you going Josh Kulabau in that fight, and it was for the pick champ. Currently, odds for this fight are Edson Barboza plus 118, Lerone Murphy minus 150. Edson is 38 years old, 5'11", and a 75-inch reach, while Lerone Murphy's 32 years old, 5'9", and a 73-inch reach. I bet Lerone Murphy earlier in the week, D-Rose, but I am immediately like, man, that was dumb. Yeah, dude, give me Edson to win this fight via decision. Yeah, that's where I'm going. Give me the dog again. We riding them dogs again. Yeah. So which way are you going here, D-Rose?
I'm telling you this to strictly let you know I'm doing this to make sure we have a third different pick. I am going to go.
Oh, we only have 2 right now?
Yeah, we only have 2.
Well, then why don't you just let it ride down to 1? Like we have 2. We'll just pick 1. Pick whichever one we're split on.
I ain't doing all that now. That's a little too that's a little too risky here. I'm going to go Lerone Murphy, but I will tell you, I'm doing it with caution because I'm with you. I do have a parlay with him as well, with him winning. But I will say that I am with you. I do see a lot of like Sadiq Yusuf type of flashes that Lerone Murphy can maybe start the fight early. If he doesn't get the finish in any sort of way, Edson Barboza ends up storming back late and end up either getting a stoppage or riding off to a decision win. I have not gotten an Edson Barboza fight right in his last like 5 because I thought he was going to lose to Billy Quarantillo and Sadiq Yusuf, and he won both of those. I thought he was going to beat Bryce Mitchell and Giga Chikadze, and he lost both of those. So it's like I literally have not. I love Edson Barboza as a fighter, but I have not been able to get his fights right. Who knows? Maybe the streak will continue this weekend. I'm going to go Lerone Murphy, but I'm going to do it with a lot of caution because, man, I'm not going to lie. I do not feel super great. I do not feel super great about this.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, Lush, hooking us up, becoming a member for another month here. I appreciate you, Lush. You are an absolute gentleman, my guy. You guys pick different on Alatong Haley versus Clayjason Rodriguez, Pierre Rodriguez versus Ariane Carnelosi, and Edson Barboza versus Lerone Murphy. Interesting.
Phew.
Yeah, but I made a parlay right now during the podcast. It is plus 400. It is Emily Ducote by points, Angela Hill money line, and Adrian Yanez knockout. $10 to win 50. It's plus 400. That's the parlay that I made during the podcast right now. Beaver Covington, yo, I just got here. What's the best bet? Oh, I just now told you the parlay that I made during the podcast. How crazy is that?
Nice.
Yeah. I already got you, Lush. You're good, man. You're good. I got you, brother. All right. So that's our picks for the week. All of our news, all that good shit. Some news that you guys don't have is I opened this motherfucker earlier, right before the podcast. This Tops Midnight. So I already opened it. I know what hits I got. I've already edited the video, and then it was like 8:15 and I had to come to the podcast. So I have to save the video, upload it to YouTube. So right after the podcast is done tonight, I'll be saving the Tops Midnight video and I'll upload it up so you guys can view the Tops Midnight that I got today. What I did is I went through and I explained all the parallels and all the autographs and shit. I told you how often they pop up and all that shit. So look forward to that video. Probably like an hour or so after the podcast tonight. So if you guys just check that out. Yeah, Riley. I had to because I was on Whatnot last night and I was like, oh, there is too much stuff in here, and I have to make a video to explain what's going on, because D-Rose, there are a lot of different cards, and dude, it's crazy. And then we got Tim dropping the $5 donation. I appreciate you, Tim. Shout out Tim for hooking us up before we get out of here, D-Rose. All right. Anything before we get out of here, man?
Not man. Good podcast. I don't know if you mentioned it, but no pod next week, right? There's no fight card next week, or how did you want to do it?
I was going to say that, but at the same time, I was also kind of wondering, should we do like a mid-year, like little recap fucking next week too? Since it's only like a week off, like, I don't know. How about this? We're not going to be here next week for the podcast. One, because this is an Apex card and it's okay. And then we'll be back the following week for UFC 302 podcast. D-Rose, opinion on a 2018 Ford Edge or Escape? You got an opinion on that, D-Rose?
If you have your choice, the Edge is probably going to be a little bit more expensive, but my understanding, a little bit more reliable. The the escapes, if you got factory warranty on it, I've heard the engines could, little janky after higher miles. Yeah, I definitely lean more towards the Ford Edge if it's within your money. But again, I know the Edge could be a little bit more money as well sometimes.
Like Dave's saying, don't buy EcoBoost. All right, don't do it. The Escape is a all right. We're just talking about cars. With that being said, we appreciate all of you for stopping by, hanging out with us here tonight. Once again, catch the UFC card video. We'll be up probably an hour or so after the podcast tonight. And with that being said, I will catch you guys Friday for Change of Cheddar here for the bets that I'm going to make here for this weekend. So with that being said, appreciate all you guys for stopping by here tonight, and I will catch you guys on Friday. Peace.